In the United States, new report revealing systematic racism in Chicago's police department. It calls for sweeping changes to end racism and to hold officials accountable. CCTV's Roza Kazan reports.
Stinging findings from a task force appointed by Chicago's mayor, revealing the city's police department has a history of racism.
There's no doubt that we have a lot of work to do in the sense of not only restoring trust, but building what I think are essential values of transparency.
Whites, African Americans, and Hispanics each make up about a third of Chicago's population. The task force found police here have shot and killed African Americans at a disproportionately higher rate. Nearly 3/4 of police shooting victims from 2008 to 2015 were black, compared to 14% Hispanic, 8% white. The president of the Chicago Urban League calls the findings shameful.
We can't put pretty names on it. We have to say this is racism, and it's not implicit bias, it's racism. And policing communities like this is not the way that we can continue to go.
The task force also found African Americans were stopped by police at a rate nearly 8 times that of whites. Civil rights activist Trina Reynolds-Styler says young black men in particular get criminalized.
At some point, I think you experience some kind of frustration and rage and your confusion, like why, what have I done other than be black and be myself.
The report cited the 2014 killing of a black unarmed teenager, Laquan McDonald, calling it a tipping point for community anger. He was allegedly shot 16 times by a white police officer, Jason Van Dyke, who has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
16 shots!
Protesters called on the mayor to resign, accusing him of a cover-up. The police department now has a new superintendent, but Rana says more needs to be done.
Everybody bears responsibility, but the police department and the culture that they're used to working in has to change immediately.
The blistering criticism comes as the federal investigation of Chicago police continues and the calls for systemic changes intensify. Roza Kazan, CCTV, Chicago.